Today we have with us Dr. Vatika Srivastav. She is the assistant professor at Kalinga Institute of Medical Sciences, Bhubaneswar, famously known as KIMS Bhubaneswar, from Odisha. And she's also the author. She has written a book on pharmacology for postgraduates. Welcome, Dr. Vatika Srivastav, for our National Dynamic Medical Student Summit.
Thank you, Dr. Sachin.
Right.
It's my pleasure to be on your this.
Okay, very wonderful, Dr. Vatika. So the entire intention of the summit is to mainly give our audience, medical students, an idea of the practicality of pharmacology, so that they get an insight into how the pharmacology is as a career from the academic perspective, and so they can get an idea and insight so that they can make their informed decision if they want to choose pharmacology as a career or not, right? So with that, let's move on to our first interactive question. Why did you take pharmacology as a career pathway?
See, what happened actually when we are doing MBBS, while doing MBBS, nobody thinks of taking a paraclinical subject. Okay, whether it is pharmacology and pathology, physiology, anything. We all dream of becoming doctors, and for doctors means we are practicing, we are doing surgeries and all these things. But once the MBBS is over, the clear picture comes out. Okay, now I will tell you my experience was that after the MBBS, I had to, I didn't start preparing for PG. I had to work for a while, specifically in some hospitals, and I was posted in ICU. So there what was happening, that whenever we were giving medicines, okay, so in ICUs you have to be very cautious while you are giving the medicines. Well, one drug should not interact with another drug, or you have to adjust the dose and all these things. So while I was doing that, while I was learning that to do, always there was a question in my mind that how do we decide that? Why is one drug is not compatible with the other drug, or what precautions should we take while giving a drug? So that question started it came out in my mind, and then I started reading regarding that, whether it is antihypertensive should be given with diabetics, anti-diabetics. So what is the relation between that? So once I started reading, I got interest in medicine. See, from the beginning, I had interest in medicine, and I always wanted to, take up medicine as a subject. But when I was doing all these works, I started developing interest for research also. Research in the sense regarding the drugs, basically the in and out of the drug, whether it is kinetics, dynamics, everything.
Yeah.
So after reading, after some 2 to 3 years, like after my MBBS, I worked for some 3 years in the hospital, and then I joined my postgraduate course. So during this was the changing period of my life. Actually, I moved from medicine to pharmacology. Medicine was always my first choice. But while doing my job, I came to know that I had an interest in research also. And being a pharmacologist makes you connected with the clinics always. Because whenever a drug is there in the market, we are the first people who come to know about the drug, and then it goes to the clinicians. Okay. For a single drug, a pharmacologist knows better than a clinician. So that is why I later on I thought that I should take up this subject, so that my interest in both clinics and research is maintained.
Okay.
And to be very frank, I get time to read, because once I'm doing posted in that clinical postings and everything, I don't get time to read. If I'm there in pharmacology, I have a lot of time of reading, and I love reading actually. So that is why I took up this subject.
Great. So basically, I think
actually
the insight.
yeah, Yeah, tell me. You ask me question.
Right. So now the gist of what is where I see the turning point, which made you to choose pharmacology is the you being in the field and being working in an ICU setup, where actually got you the
Yes,
insight into the pharmacology. Got it. And importance of the drugs and the industry
yes.
itself. Right. Great. So
Yeah,
now,
obviously. Yeah.
mhm. So you had to tell something.
Yeah, I was telling you that when a person completes MBBS now, they always think of becoming, they always think of going to the clinical side. Most of them, because even we all were there. Some wanted to become orthopedician, some wanted to become, take up general medicine or surgery, gynecologist. I always wanted to take up medicine and practice. But once after MBBS, after internship, basically, the clear picture comes out. That is the truth. The clear picture comes out where you want to go, and based on your life experience you make your choice. And that's what I did after after working for a while in some hospital, starting reading research, and then I made a choice of taking pharmacology, because during my MBBS time pharmacology was a very tough subject for me, frankly speaking.
Yeah, got
It
that.
was
I
very
think
tough,
yes, many of
but
us
then
has
I
that
developed
notion.
the knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think no, you had the privilege of taking a gap of 2 or 3, taking that rich experience of 3 years working and then making a choice of career. I think most of the students may not have sometimes that leverage of taking a break and actually practicing. I think this by this event, if they can get an insight into the life, they may choose to take a break and work before they actually jump into any of the specialty. I think that's what I could see from you sharing. The practical experience hands, so whatever said and done, finally you need to know your passion, where it lies, right? Great. So with that now, you being a pharmacologist all these years now, what has been the pros of being a pharmacologist?
See, pharmacology does not only limit for the academics. So pharmacologists, they have a lot of role in all the aspects. I will tell you one by one. First of all, a pharmacologist has a role in academic fields. Academic fields means we are involved in teaching. We are involved in teaching for all the fields like MBBS, or yeah, BDS, and nursing, everything. Okay,
Mhm.
so one field is academics, where we are giving, imparting the knowledge, you can say. Second is research, which comes as many people don't like it, but once you are there in research, you will come to know, or you will come to learn many stuff. So second is research. How does a
Mhm.
drug come into the market?
Okay.
What is how the drug starts developing? Okay,
Mhm.
from there till the clinician prescribes it, the whole process is being only looked after by a pharmacologist. Okay,
Mhm.
so the whole research part is being done by a pharmacologist, whether and that too he or she is doing by getting associated with the pharmaceutical company and heading over all the projects. So second, I would say it's research. Third is the regulatory affairs. Now, regulatory affairs, I will cite an example that in my institute, I am one of the members of institutional animal ethics committee, research committee. Okay, so like that, a pharmacologist has a role in becoming one of the prime members in committees. Even I will give example of FDA, ICMR, all these committees, all these bodies, they are having pharmacologists holding one of a very good position.
Mhm.
Okay, and a fourth is fine. If a pharmacologist wants, he or she can do a clinical practice. That's up to the choice. Okay, I
Mhm.
know my co-PGs who were doing pharmacology with me,
Mhm.
they are doing a regular clinical practice. They are general physicians at their home.
Mhm.
Okay, they are not associated with the academic field. They are doing their practice. They are continuing their practice. So, as a clinician, also a pharmacologist can work.
Got it.
Okay, and At the last, I will tell you the hospital setup. In the hospital setup, pharmacologist has a role in, auditing how the prescriptions are being managed, whether rational prescribing is happening or not, polypharmacy is happening or not. So all these areas, there is the role of only pharmacologist who can work in these fields. So these are some of the good points of being a pharmacologist. How, there are many aspects. People think that being a pharmacologist means you just have to teach students. No, it's not right. Yeah, there are many works. I am involved in teaching. I am involved in research. I am one of the members of the audit group. Then, other than that, in the regulatory affairs also, I am there involved in the college. So there are many aspects of pharmacology.
So with your sharing, we could see that there are multifaceted roles which a pharmacologist could play, even in the academic domain, with the corporate hospitals, with the regulatory areas, and clinical aspects also. Right.
Yeah, if the hospital is not a teaching hospital also, like you said, the corporate hospitals, now they have created the position of a clinical pharmacologist. Yeah. And I will like to share you one thing over here, that it has become a mandate to appoint a clinical pharmacologist in a corporate hospital. So that he can see about the rationality of the drug which is prescribed. So that is also one of the role of pharmacologist.
Got it. Wonderful. So there is also a regulations which is come with the India. Wonderful. Right. Yeah. So with looking into all the positive points which you already mentioned now, what are the cons of being a pharmacologist?
Cons, see, according to me, it's the people, like if we go from, like, I'm talking about my mother. I'll just give an example of my mother. Okay.
Exactly.
Now she thinks doctor means seeing the patients. Okay. So yeah, this thought is there in most of the people. Yeah. Doctor means seeing patients. So that is one of the problem if you are associated with this field, that even though you have the knowledge of the medicine and more than that of a clinician, that when to give a drug, how to give a drug, okay, with what drug you should not give, the timing and everything, better. Still, they will go and they will ask MD medicine people more than MD pharmacologists. That is what one of the primary disadvantage of being in a paraclinical subject. Second is that when a pharmacologist go as a clinician, practice as a clinician, okay, he always have to face a tough challenge with the people who are super specialists, with the people who are MD medicine, because practicing, as I said, people have a thought that he's a pharmacologist, so he must not be knowing about prescribing. That is what I'm saying. So this is what I feel as the major disadvantage or cons of this field. Otherwise, I find it very good, not because I am doing it. I'm seeing the broader aspects of pharmacology. Outside India, I will say that pharmacology is a very, attractive field. People are doing it, and the demand of pharmacologists are more outside India.
Okay. Right. So now look, that the only disadvantage or the con of is it from the general public point of view, even with the family members, they may not be getting the point of what a pharmacologist does. Right. Got it. I think in that aspect also, the entire summit where we are coming up is like, for you, like, for example, now the students could show this interaction with their parents, and they could get an idea of what's happening with all the subjects, right? So that's also one of the intentions, that the general public also gets an idea of what life of every specialist.
Yeah, actually, they should get. I keep on teaching my mother regarding it. They should get the idea that being in this field does not mean that you don't know medicine. We know medicine much better. Actually.
Exactly. Got it. Right. So with that, if someone takes pharmacology,
I want to. I'll just interrupt you once, okay, over here. There is one more cons which just now I remembered. is that is for the students specifically. I'm saying, so who are taking MD pharmacology after here, that pharmacology basically it's a very tough subject. Okay, and once you start writing the subject, I will tell you, you cannot go out of the point. You have to write to the point. That is one of the biggest cons. If it is the drug is working on a sodium channel, and if you're not remembering the sodium channel, you cannot write calcium channel, then the whole question goes wrong. So
Got
this
it.
is one of the disadvantages.
Right. They have to be very specific on the knowledge which they have.
Yeah, have to be
Got
very
it.
specific.
Got it. Right. So now looking at the pros and the cons, someone now takes pharmacology as a MD specialty. What super specialty options could they look forward to?
After pharmacology, super specialty, there is one field which is known as clinical pharmacology. Okay, the
Mhm.
DM is happening, and there are many around 11 to 12 seats all over India. Limited seats are there, but the course is DM clinical pharmacology.
Mhm.
Okay, and in DM clinical pharmacology, we are most of some of my friends they are doing it. Okay, and what is the advantage is that you are more involved in the hospitals. Okay,
Okay.
the national policies, the national drug policies which is coming, especially these essential medicines, or whether it is JNC for hypertension, okay, diabetes, AHA, all these foundations they have clinical pharmacologists who are having this DM, they are having these DM clinical pharmacologists because they are very specific with their knowledge, and it is very helpful for them to make out that policies and make it implemented into the medical field.
Mhm.
So that is one of the super specialty division which pharmacology is having. I'm also looking forward for it. I'm also trying to give exam next year. I'll be appearing for the same, so that clinical pharmacology actually, it's a, you can say it's a larger version of pharmacology,
Okay.
bigger version, much bigger version.
Got it. Right.
Chances of going in a national regulatory policies are more.
Mhm. So now that's one DM, right? So any other fellowships or any minor courses which comes along after MD pharmacology which you
No,
can do?
for pharmacology, no. Super specialty, we have only DM.
Mhm.
If other than that, there is no fellowship in pharmacology.
Okay. Okay. Got that. Right. So now, what are the once we're done with the pharmacology as a career choice, we have taken it up, right? So now, what are the job opportunities available in India for a pharmacologist?
As I said, job opportunities for pharmacologists. First of all, obviously, as a teaching faculty in
Mhm.
the medical college. Okay, so that teaching faculty will be, involved in undergraduate teaching, MBBS, BDS, or nursing. So first of all is in academics. Second, uh, if the person is DM, then he or she will be involved in, as I said, in the policy making. So in the national level, whether it is ICMRs, FDAs, okay, NICE, all these areas, they need a pharmacology to frame out the guidelines. So one
Mhm.
opportunity is that. Third, in the hospital setup, they need a clinical pharmacologist or a pharmacologist for evaluating the rational use of drug.
Mhm.
For one of the major field which I'll say is pharmacovigilance. Okay,
Mhm.
so this pharmacovigilance is about that it is a national program which is going on. PVPI we say, that is Pharmacovigilance Program of India, and we have different zones for that. So here we basically monitor the adverse drug reactions. Okay,
Okay.
so we have one pharmacologist who is looking after the prescriptions and rational prescribing, and one pharmacologist who's involved in, monitoring this adverse drug reaction and sending the reports directly to WHO. So that is another one role of a pharmacologist. Okay. And lastly, we have pharmacologists who are involved in drug research in the clinical trials, because it's very, what we read, we know from the beginning to the end how is the trial registered and how is the trial done. So pharmaceutical companies, they are taking up MD pharmacologist or clinical pharmacologist for all their research purposes. Okay, for all the drugs which is coming into the market, that project is always headed by a pharmacologist.
Okay. Right. So,
So these,
yeah, there are multiple opportunities.
These are all the career aspects of pharmacology. Okay.
Got it. Got it. So, what about no? As you mentioned, that there are a lot of demand abroad. So, what are the opportunities in abroad when it comes to MD pharmacology after completing MD pharmacology?
See, what I know that this drug process, okay, the drug which is coming into the market, the drug discovery and the development process is much more advanced outside India, more than India. What do we call it? Like the hardly there are some 4 to 5 drugs which India has produced by itself. I'm talking about. Rest of the drug what we are getting the patency from outside, and then we are giving the drugs. That is what is happening. So the discovery and the development is happening outside India. So obviously on a research basis, on a clinical trials basis, outside India, the pharmacologist is having a much better prospect than in India. Okay. In the pharmaceutical companies, they are having a much better prospects than in India.
Okay. So now, looking into all these aspects, the career prospects in India and abroad, the one of the very interesting question I think students would like to know is the financial aspects. How much a pharmacologist could earn? What would be a range? What you could share with us?
See, the earning is good. Obviously, I'll say the earning is good, and the thing is that you are being paid as a assistant professor. So what I will give you an example over here with my case, and I think generally it is applicable for all the teaching hospitals, that I am getting as paid as an what is the basic pay of an assistant professor, whether he is in any subject. So the basic pay remains that, first of all, if you are involved in other activities, like other than your being an assistant professor, as involved in the committees, like in ethics committee, research committee, or in the pharmacovigilance program, or in the audit committee, then the payment is extra. Okay, the meetings you attend, the audits you do, so the depending on that, the payment is increased. Or in nutshell, I will tell you that the payment is good. The payment is really good.
Okay. So, but on an average, could you just give us a range what a student could start from when it joins, and what he may go up to as he looking forward to?
Range in the sense, in cases of like
Numbers.
in monetary issues you are telling about?
Yes, yes.
Huh? Yeah. Okay. Its starting is around 80. Okay. Starting.
Yeah.
Goes from, if you are an SR, like I started as being an SR and then got promoted to assistant professor. So in SR, minimum it starts from 80. Okay. And it goes up to 2.5 to 3.
Okay. So around 3 lakhs per month,
depending upon your extent of work.
Yeah, so depending on the extent of work and the, of course.
Depending upon your extent of work, your duties which you are performing, depending on that, it will keep on increasing. So that's what I said. The money is good. Depending upon how you want to work and how much you can work, the money is good in this.
Right. So of course.
And one more thing. This is about my college, like in the hospital setup. some of my friends, they are working in pharmaceutical companies. Okay, they are heading the projects for the clinical trials of new drugs, and so their pay is much more higher. For a pharmaceutical company, the pay minimum starts from one, and it goes beyond 5 also many times.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Got it. So with looking all the financial aspects, and also we look in the the opportunities, that looks great. Okay. And now what we just would like to know about the work-life balance. So how is work-life balance if a person takes MD pharmacology as a subject?
The balance is good. That's what I said. The balance is good. You don't have to keep running after the patients if you're not directly dealing with the patients. Basically, I'm having a time after 6 o'clock, which is a relaxing period, and that time I could read, I could go out, I could hang out. We can do anything. That is the thing. The evening part remains free for me, so that I can look ahead, whether it is reading, cooking, do any other thing other than my being a pharmacologist. Okay, so the relaxation is there in this job. That mental pressure is less, relaxation is there, and the money is good. What else a person wants?
Great. So with now, what we'd like to know is, looking 5 to 10 years ahead. Okay, what would be the future of pharmacology as a specialty?
I think this field is going to, not because I'm in this field, I'm talking like that, but this field is going to be, much bigger aspects are going to open for this field, because see, the diseases are not getting less, the drugs are not getting less.
Yes.
For a new drug, right now only we have a pandemic which is going on, and we don't have a specific drug for that. We are just putting the old drugs, hit and trial method. We are keeping on, like the drugs are coming out like that. So here comes the need of pharmacology specifically. Now the vaccines which are prepared, I'm sure the pharmacologists are working over there also. Correct. So this field is never going to get old, and I will say it will get much broader, because the mutations, the diseases are changing, and because of the changing diseases, we have to take out different drugs. For that, we need this field. For that, you should have a idea about the mechanism of action and everything. So in cases of research, in cases of academics, this field is going to come out in a very much better manner. Previously, what I saw with my seniors, with my guides, with my teachers, that their role was very restricted. Okay, and they kept themselves restricted, towards teaching. But now it is having a much broader aspects.
Yeah. Okay. Got that. So that's the future which we see. I think, of course, as the disease increases, as the drugs requirement is increases, and the population increases, the pharmacological support and the vigilance on the pharmacology is also going to increase in a huge way. I got that.
Yeah.
So with all this, what we discussed now, that was more of formal. So now we would like to know, dive deep into your life, and we would like to know more about you and the books which you have written, and the way you have taken your career pathway from after MBBS, or during from MBBS to now, how it has been. Could you just share some aspects of your life?
Yeah. See, after MBBS, there was a mishap in my family. After that, I joined a job. Now that job was the turning point, I will say, of my career, because there I understood that actually what I want in my life, like what I want to go ahead with my life. So I wanted to take up MD medicine, but then I changed, and I took up this subject, that was MD pharmacology. During my PG time also, I had good experiences. I had published around 3 to 4 papers during my PG course, and all were interventional. 2 of them were interventional, then observational studies, depending upon that. After finishing off with my post graduation, I joined here as a senior resident.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was promoted after 1 year to assistant professor, and I'm continuing here in
Mm-hmm.
Kalinga Institute of Medical Sciences as assistant professor. I was involved in a book project since last 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and by the grace of God's, you people, your support, and my mother, obviously, ultimately the book got published
Mm-hmm.
this year in July. The book is postgraduate topics for pharmacology, and the book generally contains around 142 topics. They
Oh,
are
okay.
divided into 12 sections. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the book 12 sections I have divided it. The language and the concept I have kept it easy so that people will understand, and that book is not only for the pharmacologist, for the people who are there in pharmacy. They can also read it because it is all related to clinical trials, research, new drugs. I have mentioned some two chapters I have mentioned, which is regarding the vaccines which have come since last 5 years, the
Mm-hmm.
new drugs which have been launched since last 5 years. So overall, that book can be read like for the postgraduate students. They can read it for the pharmacy students, and ultimately for the teachers also, like who are there in teaching professions. Assistant professors, associates, they can also read that book.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a very good experience of writing the book and then coming out of it. And ultimately, I'm getting good response for the book. That's
Mm-hmm.
what. So it feels good. And now I have been approached to write another book. I don't know how much successful I will be there in that for an undergraduate book.
Mm-hmm.
I have been approached by the publishers. I don't know. The project has not yet been started.
Okay.
But I'll start soon. And two ICMR projects are there with me right now. I'm working on two indigenous drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing the effect of those in diabetes. Basically,
Okay.
as we all know that diabetes and hypertension, they are very common diseases.
Yeah.
So I'm just, and most of them lead to, renal failures. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, these indigenous drugs I'm testing to see whether they have any renoprotective effect
Okay.
when it is there in diabetes. So these two
Oh.
projects are also going on simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what currently I'm doing. I'm here with the research, and because of this pandemic, that students are not here, so we are taking online classes. That is also going on simultaneously.
Great. So you've been doing a lot of work, and and also in meanwhile
Yeah,
you
and
have
I was
also.
happy to do a COVID duty also. Recently, I finished some 15 days of COVID duty, so that made me feel like that I'm a part of a hospital setup also. It was good. So this is how currently my life is going on as a pharmacologist.
Great. So now we could see there is multiple discipline, multiple way you are being involved in different aspects of research, and also being an author. Right, it's not. It's a something to more advanced level of authorship which you have published for an advanced audience. That I think that shows the dedication which you have put into pharmacology, and that we could see the
Thank you so
passion
much.
we passion you have towards pharmacology. Great. So with that, what has been the challenge which have you faced during your MD pharmacology in the career?
Like during my post
No,
graduation,
sorry,
as a career.
as a career, what was one of the challenge which you could share?
See, challenges was not getting appreciation much.
Mm-hmm,
Even if you
mm-hmm,
are writing it, not getting much appreciation, not from
mm-hmm,
my field, but from the other departments. Secondly, I'm just getting restricted to my point of view.
mm-hmm,
Once the competition level also increases amongst faculties, amongst people, when they come to know that you are doing a project,
mm-hmm.
so there are many discouraging thoughts you will have to listen once you are doing all these things. Second, if I want to go for a bigger projects,
Mhm.
there is a problem in arrangement of funds.
Yeah.
Okay. If I want to do that, I will have to, if the government is involved in this, they will say that they will release the funds, but that is a very tedious process. It comes after a very long time. And during that time, you will have to put on the money and the funds from your side. So that is also that the government projects, you will have to hold a lot of patience while doing a government projects,
Got
because everything comes on very late. So these are some of the challenges which I'm facing. And when I'm asking the obviously when I'm asking the institution, they are telling that since it's a government project, we cannot help you. So ultimately it's the investigator who has to put on all the efforts in a research. That is what I have seen.
Got it. So I think one of the challenge which you very well mentioned is more into the work environment related and also
Yeah.
administrative related, so that the your passion of research and things can taken forward.
See, I talked about that challenge because, to be very frank, I am not yet married, so I don't know about the household part. Like,
Mhm.
if I was married, I would have told you some challenges which would have come to me from my family side, but I'm not. So I
Mhm.
could only share my work-related challenges to you.
Got it. Wonderful. Right. So with that, I think what has been the best part of being a pharmacologist?
The best part.
Mhm.
Okay. I think for me the best part is writing, reading, and writing. Okay,
Okay.
research is
Got
there. That is go.
it.
But
Uh-huh.
for me, what I'm reading, what I could write, and if after and what I've seen from the book, which I've released, that people are appreciating my work. So
Mhm.
I'm very happy for that, because I got time, I wrote, and now people are acknowledging it. So that is the best part of, I think, uh, this being a pharmacologist for me. Obviously other things are also there, that the things are going on with the projects and all, but I'm happy with the writing part and the reading part which for which I'm getting a lot of time being in this.
Got it. So you mentioned reading. Know what specific type of reading do you do, and you could share that a bit.
Specific type of reading means generally the I'll just give an example over here. See, right now the COVID is going on.
Mhm.
Pandemic is going on. So recently, I just wrote a paper on how how does genetic variations affect the pandemic. There
Okay.
is, I will tell you that there is only one paper all over the world which has been released.
Mhm.
So, and that too also they have not mentioned everything over there. So, what I did is I started reading up about the genetic variations, how
Mhm.
the disease is differing from different countries,
Mhm.
and how are the drug influencing them.
Okay.
Okay, we are giving various drugs, all hit and trial drugs are given, but as we saw that previously hydroxychloroquine was working in pandemic,
Mhm.
then it came to azithromycin, now it is now only doxycycline and ivermectin are working. So why this change is happening? Okay,
Okay.
that is basic, the population is same, right? Then why
Mhm.
this change is happening? So that is because of the genetic variation. So regarding this I started reading. So basically, I like reading regarding the newer aspects which we can open, newer researches which we can open, we can start working on it. That is
Okay. Got it. So
all
you are
related to
more.
pharmacology.
Got it. So all related to pharmacology, new advancements and all those things. So keep updated, and then you can also publish
Yeah,
articles on that, so that the general public or people from our
yeah.
discipline could get benefited. Got it. Wonderful. Great.
Hmm.
So now we also looked into the challenges, also the best part of being a pharmacologist. So now we're almost at the end of the discussion. So what do you like to give the guidance regarding someone who is looking to take pharmacology as their discipline? What's your guidance?
I will say that if initially even I thought that it's a tough subject, while doing MBBS, we all think that it's a tough subject. But I will appreciate if people will take pharmacology as a postgraduate student, as a postgraduate subject, because it if you like reading, if you like research, if you want to get updated with the emerging trends which is coming in medicine, I think this is the best. But the thing is that once you will have to put on your dedication towards this field, then only it will be effective. Because I have seen people who are working, who are just going, teaching and coming back. So if that is there, then I think you should opt for other paraclinical subject, I think, other than pharmacology. But if you are there in pharmacology, there are various branches, or there are various inside subjects in pharmacology. So if you want to work and you want to learn, if you want to spread your knowledge, everything, then I think pharmacology should be taken up by the students. It's a good field. It's a great field, actually, according to me.
Got it. So that's been a wonderful discussion, Dr. Vantika, and we could actually sense the passion which you have for pharmacology, the way you shared the entire the way you shared your life and the work which you're working in different domains of pharmacology itself, and the dedication which you took to complete your book for 2 years in such an advanced pharmacological domain gives us a lot of inspiring stories from what you have shared, and it's really inspiring the way you're taken the career forward. Thank you so much for being here today on our platform and inspiring many of the students. Hope some of the students could get inspired with the way you have taken your career, and they could also choose pharmacology and make a difference.
I hope that's so.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Vantika.
And thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Isn't this valuable to know the career pathway of a specialist? Hear from experiences of 50 plus consultant doctors from across India. Get an insight into 22 plus medical specialties and make an informed career decision which will shape your future. Join India's first of a kind online medical specialty summit exclusively designed for medical students. Visit our website drsajjanacademy.com to know more. Don't miss out on this golden opportunity.